movies. Busting makes me feel good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Blockbusting, the podcast where we love to hate movies. I'm your host, Jay Light. Joining me today, a shirt that I am jealous of, quite frankly. It's Ryan Nesen.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's great to be here and great to be in this shirt right now.
Is that a golf shirt?
It is a Chubby's shirt.
A Chubby's shirt.
It's
okay.
a Chubby's shirt.
I'm
and
familiar with Chubby's.
I'm wearing it because it's moisture wicking and it's 104 degrees in the valley.
Yeah.
So they don't want to come here all sweaty.
I appreciate
Schwitzing everywhere, as my mom would say.
Good old, who doesn't love a good schwitz?
I know, right?
But I got to schwitz on my own accord, all right? I'm not going to I'm not going to be let the environment be making me schwitz.
Yeah, this is my decision.
Yes.
I go into a little hot box and do this myself.
Exactly.
Not with you, God.
God, come on. Don't you force me into a schwitz. All right.
Be careful. That's getting... Force me into Auschwitz? Okay.
Hey, hold on.
Chill out.
Excuse me. Here's a movie that I had never seen until you brought it up to me, and it's the movie that we're talking about today. It's Teen Wolf.
You've never seen
I've
this?
never seen Teen Wolf. 1985, directed by Rod Daniel, starring Michael J. Fox and a bunch of other people who were around in the 80s.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
That's incredible that you have never seen it. Well, how old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, so you weren't even born when it came out.
No.
I was 3 when it came out.
Okay. Did you see it when you were 3?
I probably saw it when I was 3, and that's probably why I liked it at first. And then when I rewatched it, I was like, "What the hell did I just watch? Like, what was this movie?"
Do you remember, like, you watched it at home for the first time?
Yeah, for sure.
What was your feeling about the movie? Like, watching it as a child and then watching it, I'm assuming you probably rewatched it to catch yourself back up.
I watched it last week, yeah,
Okay.
several times. It's like Pringles. Once you pop.
You got stuck into the Teen Wolf zone.
I got stuck in it. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I don't remember stuff when I was 3. I remember being a fan of the movie, though, but I'm sure I was scared, actually. Like, it's kind of terrifying if you're a 3-year-old and
Yeah, and there's a werewolf.
A
There's a
human
couple
ge-
werewolves.
Yeah, but also I was a big fan of Michael Jackson's Thriller, and there was
He's
a
big
werewolf in that.
yeah.
So
And
werewolves,
zombies in that.
werewolves were huge in the 80s, is
Yeah.
what I figured out. Like, it was a big thing.
And they do have, I mean, he's doing the werewolf Thriller dance move in this too.
He is.
Where he's doing.
Yeah, he's doing the
this.
dun dun.
Totally just ripping off Michael Jackson in Thriller.
Exactly.
This movie, I wish, had a disclaimer like how Thriller's music video had beforehand, where they're like, this doesn't in any way reflect my belief in the occult.
They had that before Thriller?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Pull that up.
I watched it. So I watched it on Moonwalker, which was like the giant, like the hour-and-a-half movie from Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So it didn't have that.
No.
It was directed by John Landis.
Yes.
For Christ's sake.
Due to my strong
Oh.
personal convictions, I wish to stress that this film in no way endorses a belief in the occult.
That is hilarious.
Because he was a Jehovah's Witness, I think, or something. Seventh-day Adventist.
I feel like that's what his dad just told him because he never wanted to celebrate anything. He's just like, just stay in there and dance, Michael.
But yeah, this movie,
Whoa.
because that's the thing. They were like, well, I don't want anybody to think that I believe in the spirit world.
Were werewolves a big part of the Bible that I don't know about?
I mean, I read the Bible cover to cover when I was a child, and I
Yeah.
don't remember any
There was no-
werewolves.
Okay, good.
But the Book of Revelations is basically like an apocalypse novel. There's zombies,
Okay.
there's demons, there's dragons, there's all sorts of crazy shit.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So it's like Harry Potter, like the original, or like Lord of the Rings or something?
It's more Lord of the Rings than
Okay.
Harry Potter. It's a lot more like Harry. I guess you could call it like late stage Harry Potter when stuff started getting violent.
Oh.
Whenever you weren't a 10-year-old reading it and you were like an actual 16 or 17-year-old reading the books.
I may rethink seeing Passion of the Christ. This sounds
This
fantastic.
movie, I would
Sounds like a
say,
great
well,
movie.
here's the thing. But I mean, Passion of the Christ doesn't even touch on the level of violence that happens in the Book of Revelations. Book of Revelations is like a whole other thing.
Okay.
You ever
I'm
you
out
ever
again.
heard of that movie? Or not the movie Left Behind, the book series Left Behind.
No, I haven't.
It's Christian novel canon.
Really?
Where basically the whole premise of it is the rapture happens and the Antichrist comes and like starts to rule the world. But it's all basically the Book of Revelations, but set in sort of modern era. Whereas previously, like the Book of Revelations, I can't believe we're spending like a
This
lot
is-
of chunk of time about talking about the fucking Bible.
I watched the show Lucifer on Netflix. Is that close?
I don't think so. I also have not seen the show Lucifer on Netflix. Yeah, so they have Left Behind, which has a spin-off called Left Behind the Kids. So
Okay.
there's a series that's got the children of the families of Left Behind.
She's pulled up Lucifer now.
We got Lucifer now. Yeah.
So here's the-
nothing to do with any of this.
Let me pitch you on Lucifer. No, let's change this whole episode.
But yeah, so this movie unfortunately is less exciting than all of the stuff we've just talked about.
Fuck.
Here's the thing. All right, so I'd never seen Teen Wolf. The premise of the movie, also, it's a fucking ridiculous movie.
It's ridiculous in so many levels.
It's such a ridiculous movie. But
yeah.
I will say, I thought it was a lot better than I expected it to be. I think that for a movie that is about a guy who turns into a werewolf, not in any of the ways we've ever heard about anybody turning into a werewolf.
no full moon.
No full moon.
No.
Can just do it at will.
It was basically puberty.
Yeah.
Like that's what his turning into a werewolf was.
Full body bush.
Full body
That's what they
bush.
should have called this movie.
That was the original working title, I think. Then they went into post. They're like, it's not going to play.
Michael J. Fox in Full Body Bush.
Yeah.
But the script, but for a movie that's about that, this script shockingly good.
Okay. All right.
And we will. And I want to talk more about this with you. But like, it is a completely insane movie that shouldn't work on a lot of levels. And I will say, still doesn't work on a lot of levels.
If you bring common sense and reason into it, it does not work at all.
No.
Like,
This movie is, I mean, it's got a 42% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think for good reason.
was that critics or
That's the critics.
how about the audience?
I don't know what's the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
I want to
We never
say
talk about this.
I'll say 63. I'm going to guess.
I feel like it's going to be a little bit closer to 70.
Okay.
Maybe 75. Because I enjoyed the movie.
It's a movie.
84.
Wow.
No, that's the MTV show.
Then this should be 110 because that TV show's dog shit.
52% enjoyment. Wow. I'm shocked.
That's about right.
That's 52% of the people who are correct,
That's-
which is that this movie is pretty decent. This movie, okay. Here's like I laughed out loud way more in this movie than I expected to, which was once. But when they
Just one time.
the fucking coach, the coach being this guy who like is just showing up for the paycheck, doesn't care.
Yeah.
And he said at some point, I can't remember the exact line,
It's
but
the
he
most
says
aggressive chewer in the world.
he says somebody is all crippled up, which just like blew my mind. Is like, wow, 80s coming back for it, but also hilarious.
Oh yeah.
You're saying somebody
It's. I think the F.
just
word. I think the
offhanded
F word.
saying all crippled up.
I think the F word gets thrown around a little bit too. Like,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that
It
happens
does.
in there.
It does.
And this was like a PG movie.
This is a PG movie. This is for families. All right, we're gonna throw a little bit of that in there because why not? It's the 80s.
We need a little gay bashing.
Hey,
It's the 80s.
Yeah, we can get that's what the G and PG stood for. Was
Yeah.
parentally approved gay bashing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was.
This movie is insane.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie it starts out with Michael J. Fox being a bad basketball player on a team full of bad basketball players, including a guy who's only known by Chubby the entire time. Chubbs.
Yeah,
yes.
Chubbs.
There's a coach who's a piece of shit. He's got a love interest named Boof, which is perhaps the worst name that you could ever call the love interest in a movie.
Uh-huh.
Why?
Why is her name Boof?
Why would you name somebody Boof?
I have no idea. It makes zero. I'm assuming it was a last name, and they were on that kind of basis. That's how platonic their relationship was. But
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
They have a basketball game where they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
They have a party where Michael J. Fox doesn't want to kiss Boof. Such a shame.
Well, he wants to kiss the 40-year-old actress in the
Yes,
school.
that's right.
Yeah, he's got a big crush on her.
Who also that actress and the teacher, the play, the play director, clearly having an affair. Mm-hmm. It's laid out. He's the only person. Did you do high school theater at all? My vibe is no.
I did actually one semester. Of
Okay.
high school. I did a play in high school in ninth grade.
So you know this as somebody who did high school theater, and I say this as somebody
As
who
a
also
pro,
did high school theater,
yeah.
right? There's other people in the auditorium whenever
Yeah.
a rehearsal is happening. Mm-hmm. There's not just one guy sitting in the back It's just like
Being a creep?
yeah. Ready to pounce.
Yeah.
There's also other people on stage too. Like there's never just one this is the least this is where I don't know what the budget of this movie was, but this is where it really showed the seams like, oh, we have no money. We spent all of our money on hair for Michael J. Fox's costume.
Hilarious.
We don't have enough. We can't pay extras.
We couldn't hire
anymore.
extras.
I'm so sorry. Central casting, we can't fill this out.
They should just
anymore.
use the basketball team. None of those guys got to talk except for Chubbs.
Or the crowd at the movie, the slowly growing crowd. Have them be the actors.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, yeah, this movie's fucking ridiculous, but it's fine.
What was the part where you were like, this movie is when you said you're like, this is crazy?
When did I say this movie's crazy? It's probably right around the time when Michael J. Fox is rebuffing Boof.
Okay.
This is even before the wolf stuff happens.
Rebuffing Boof.
Like he's got a couple things. Like I think at some point he'd already had the red eyes happen, and he intimidated a teacher in class or something like that.
He uses that a lot. He uses it to get beer.
Yeah.
And to intimidate a teacher.
Getting the beer part was pretty great. Yeah. Also, Styles, all-time great, pantheon of great. Like I don't know why this character is in this movie, but I love him.
He's the ultimate hype man.
Ultimate hype man. Don't know why he's hanging out with Michael J. Fox. He seems way cooler than Michael J. Fox is.
I agree. And he's the teacher's age, so I'm not sure if he was just a teacher that was hanging around or what the deal was.
They did not make the people who played the children in this movie shave enough.
No.
Too adult.
Chubbs probably had 2 kids for himself in high
so.
school.
Yeah. But Michael J. Fox, yeah, as soon as he shows up or as soon as he's like, I don't think Boof, me, that's like my sister, and everybody else being like, "What's your fucking problem? Why don't you guys just make out?" I was like, "This is stupid. This is a guy. He doesn't know what he wants. He also is a werewolf. I get it. He's got a lot of confusing feelings happening right now. This is just puberty. Sure.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and when he turned into a werewolf, I knew that was going to happen. The movie's fucking called Teen Wolf, right? Like that's the least surprising thing that happens in this movie.
Got it. Yeah, so you were more surprised by the fact that he's turning down sex, potentially.
Yes.
Okay.
A guaranteed...
That's the least believable part of this movie.
That's the least believable part, is that a 15 or 16-year-old guy is going to turn down guaranteed at least like over-the-pants action in a closet.
A little dry hump.
Come on.
Yeah.
How are you going to turn that down, you fucking idiot?
That's a good point. I think the point where I was like, this movie is ridiculous, is when he turns into a wolf in the bathroom of his house, and then his dad's knocking at the door like, Scott, talk to me. And he's like, You won't. We don't have time, Dad. You won't believe what's happening. He's like, I'll be more understanding than you think. And he opens the door, full wolf, and his dad is also a wolf.
That was I laughed at that.
And his dad's also a wolf. And then he says like something along the lines of like, I thought I would skip a generation, so I didn't tell you.
Like alcoholism.
And he's like, if there's a slight chance at some point in my life that I turn into a wolf, like fucking let me know. Like that should be something.
I know, you should really lay that out for the child.
Yeah, you tell people about like heart disease running in your family, like so they don't eat like shit. But like I turn into a wolf.
Diabetes, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
This never came up in any of the medical exams that we had before.
Yeah. Is there a pill I can take? Like, what do I do, Dad? What do you?
I think, yeah. Well, then also because he turns into a wolf at the basketball game, and everybody's just like, "Oh, okay."
30-second timeout.
Weird.
That's it.
So weird. Doesn't make any sense.
No.
But I can't imagine like what the people in this town have already gone through to where that is just like, oh, we can just cast that off. I guess that's fine.
And not only that, it becomes like more popular. Like I would be like reaching for a gun or something to protect myself from a wolf.
I mean, this is Indiana. Somebody's definitely packing at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an open carry state, I think.
Indiana, yeah, definitely an open carry state.
This is why we need school. No, I'm just joking.
High school basketball game.
Yeah, we need children with guns at these games.
This is the remake of Teen Wolf in 20 years from now is going to be Teen Wolf is a school shooter.
Oh my God!
But he only is good at it after he turns into a werewolf.
Okay, so he's just missing all the shots before.
Exactly.
Then he goes 3 for 3 later.
Exactly. That's the 20-year remake that's going to win all the Oscars because of what incisive social commentary it is.
I was like, this is almost like a coming out thing. Like this was ahead of that time. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In the 80s. Yeah.
He came out as trans species.
But that's the thing though. They didn't play with any of that actual dynamic. because he becomes immediately cooler and more popular as soon as he's a werewolf. He doesn't want to change back into being a human being, because that's the whole message of the movie is you just got to be yourself. You just got to be yourself, Scott.
Yeah.
Instead of being this werewolf who's also who you are, you're letting the identity take you over as a potentially, it's going to be detrimental to who you are.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. It's like a real Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type thing, I feel like, with this guy.
If Mr. Hyde had sex with a 40-year-old woman in a dressing room,
yeah.
who's
Did
pretending to be a
he end up
16-year-old.
having sex with her?
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I guarantee also, this is another unbelievable thing to me,
Let's hear it.
that the guy who the blonde chick was dating, what's her, I gotta get her character's
His name was
Pamela and Mick.
Mick. There you go. Yeah. The bad guy on the 40-year-old on the other rival basketball team.
Yes. The guy, Mick. Mick does not strike me as somebody who is like adult enough and like cool enough, especially in the 80s, to be openly okay with his girlfriend sleeping with other people.
I don't think he was okay with it, was he?
I mean, he seemed pretty fucking fine with it when they were out bowling and he sees them bowling on a date, clearly together.
Yeah, that was strange, actually.
It is.
And then he does the. I remember when I was a kid, I thought that Michael J. Fox hit him with the bowling ball in the face, but I think he just throws it.
Yeah, he just throws it.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was like, how did he just hit him with a bowling ball and he's just standing there? I was like, this guy's also like a superhero of some sort.
Like if this was Euphoria, where everybody's poly all the time. I also, full disclosure, I don't know anything about Euphoria. I've never watched it. But I assume everybody's poly and pan on Euphoria. I feel like this is probably the scene that, like, on that version of the show, yeah, that makes sense. You're gonna have this guy who's like okay with Teen Wolf sleeping with his girlfriend. It's totally fine.
Maybe he just wanted to be Eskimo brothers with a wolf. Like, who gets to say that?
That's true. That's a good point.
He's like, oh yeah, I also.
But also, then why is he shitting on the wolf so much? Why does he hate Michael J. Fox? Because
high school rivalries, man.
Because he's different. Because he's a wolf.
I think he shit on him more when he was Scott, to be honest.
Oh, he shits on him hard when he's Scott.
Yeah.
And then he tries to goad Scott into being the wolf.
Oh yeah, about shooting his mom.
Yeah.
For coming after her hens.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about that. That's violent.
That he's like, I shot your mom with a shotgun.
This movie, I forgot
Jesus.
this movie's PG.
Is that by the way, that should be the origin story of this, is his mom getting shot on a farm by Mick.
Oh my God.
That's the lead into this movie.
That's the gritty reboot. That's the 20 down the road gritty reboot. Did we find out what happened? The mom died of some sort of disease.
I mean, rabies? Who the fuck knows at this point?
Also, wow, good job on Scott's dad for convincing the mom to sleep with, to have a child, knowing that it could very well be a werewolf baby.
Did he tell her?
I'm assuming he did, and he probably also was like, I think it's going to skip a generation.
I'm assuming he didn't. He didn't even tell his son.
Well, I don't know, he thought it was going to skip a generation. He's really leaning hard on that one plot point.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely doesn't skip generations, because there is a Teen Wolf 2, and it's his cousin. So there's,
Jason Bateman, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen Teen Wolf 2.
Don't. Can we see the Rotten Tomatoes on? look it up. His mom's death.
Yeah,
I love it.
Let's look.
What the Rotten Tomatoes on this has to be
Teen
in the
Wolf
teens.
2. I love that they spelled Teen Wolf 2 like a Chili's 2 in an airport.
Yeah. This has to be in the teens. Yeah,
8% tomato meter.
That's could be generous.
18% audience score. That's pretty low.
Yeah, a lot of recurring characters, by the way.
I heard Chubbs is back.
Chubbs is back. Styles is back. Different styles though.
Different styles. How are
Yeah.
you gonna recast styles?
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God. Hey everybody. Did you like how I just did my own theme song just there? I hope you did. Jay here with a quick interruption. I don't have ads, so I'm going to advertise myself in the middle of this podcast. Why not? This is somewhere north of 300 episodes when you're listening to this. And golly gee, it has been a journey. And I appreciate you coming with me on that journey for this whole time that you've been here. Maybe you've been here from the beginning. Maybe you've been here since like an episode ago. I'm just glad you're here. But I do have to say this. We here at Blockbusting, and there's literally a we. Chorkin, come around to the other side of the camera so we can see. Look, guys, I got a staff now, all right? I got interns, okay? I got producers. I got stuff to handle here at the space that I record at and elsewhere. And I want to be able to pay these people. And I, unfortunately, do not make the kind of money to pay these people myself. And that's where I hope that you can come in. By supporting the Blockbusting Patreon. Yes, that's right. We've got a Patreon. I haven't plugged it in a bit, but I'm going to start plugging it heavy now, because why not? I want to pay these folks, all right? And you can support the podcast for just as low as $1 a month, all right? $1 a month goes back into the show. I'm not even paying myself. I don't care about paying myself for this podcast. I care about giving a little something back to the people who help me out, because I'm getting a lot of help from people these days. And they deserve a little something for their efforts beyond just my eternal thanks and gratitude, which they're going to get anyway. So you can subscribe for $1 a month. You start getting access to bonus content from me, like I'm posting episodes of my game show Wrong that I'm doing here in Los Angeles that I'm not posting to the public. I'll start posting bonus episodes of me talking about stuff again. What's Good with Jay Light, where I just talk about what I liked that I saw on the television and the internet and stuff these days, because that's how you do for Patreon. We still have the JFlix level, the $5 tier, where you can get access to my full film, television, comedy special library. That's just $5 a month. It's cheaper than pretty much every streaming service out there, except for, I guess, Apple TV is $5 a month. And they have Severance and Ted Lasso, so you really can't go wrong there. And they got Coda. I mean, Coda, what a delight. But you know what I've got? Xanadu. And nobody else has that. Pff, duh. I've got A Day Without a Mexican, Los Digits' least favorite movie. You listen to that episode, it's a great episode. But you just got to watch the movie, which I have on JFlix for $5 a month. I got a bunch of weird stuff. So go consider, please, subscribing to the Patreon for Blockbusting. The link is in the show notes. Or you can just go type into your little web browser right now, tippity tap it into patreon.com/blockbusting. Again, that is patreon.com/blockbusting. And your support will go to helping me throw a little cash the way of the fine folks who help make this podcast happen. That's all I'm asking, is you throw me a little something so I can throw them a little something, okay? We're going direct, because, you know, this is like thoughts and prayers with guns. Like, saying thanks is only going to do so much. I want to give them cash, okay? At least buy them a coffee or something. So patreon.com/blockbusting. You can join and support for as little as $1 a month. And that's all there is, folks. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Let's talk about a lot of there's a lot of like weird love triangle stuff. It feels like this is the biggest downside of this movie, is that I did enjoy the script, and I felt like there's a lot of like, it was very clear what was going to happen, right? Like, everything was pretty much telegraphed well, where Scott is like, I just feel like I need to be somebody different. And then he becomes somebody different, and then he has to learn, oh, you don't need to be somebody different. You just got to be you.
Yeah.
The final basketball game, a great way to cinch all that up. There's all this wacky shit in the middle that I get why it's in there. It's in there for comedy, right? There's nothing.
Yeah, it'd be a 10-minute movie.
Yeah, there's nothing funnier than having a guy who is selling merch and profiting off of his friend with like bumper stickers and T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
There's something funny about that. A guy who also is wearing sunglasses everywhere he goes.
Not even sunglasses. They're like Venetian blinds. Like, they don't even have a lens in them.
Or are they like Kanye West style shutter
Oh
shades?
yeah, the Styles invented them. Kanye took them.
Let's pull up Styles' glasses.
Yeah, pull up
forget.
Styles sunglasses.
I forget what they look like.
There's no lens in these things.
I think it's spelled Stiles, perhaps.
It's just
Styles. There
there you are.
Hello there.
What? Oh no, where'd he go?
No, that's not the guy. It's that
That's
guy.
Styles right there.
That's Styles. That's Styles in character.
Well, those are different. Okay, so he had multiple pairs. Because when he's in the garage at one point, he has the shutter shades on.
Classy guy though. Look at him. He's wearing funny shirts.
What are you looking at, Dick,
Dick
Nose?
Nose?
Such a good shirt.
You get to get away with that in a PG movie in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's very strong.
Look at that
I mean,
guy.
you have a lady get topless in this movie. You don't see her boobs.
Yeah, it's implied nudity.
That's how I'm pretty sure. Yeah, life sucks and then you die. Great. Iconic.
Yeah,
Styles in the pantheon of great film characters.
He really was like a style setter. That is how he got that name. I'm 100% sure.
Oh, for sure.
Great
There's a lot of stuff in this movie though that like it feels like they threw so much in there, and it could have gone in a direction where it could have been good instead of just like, oh yeah, I enjoyed this. Where they could have done stuff that made sense.
Okay.
Like they could have had comedy that logically followed the story instead of throwing in this other romantic, like weird romance triangle shit.
Yeah.
They don't need to throw in this. If this is a basketball movie, show more basketball stuff.
Yeah, they only played the same team twice in this entire movie.
Yeah,
that's the only games they show, really.
There's like a montage
Yeah,
of some stuff, but for the team to hate him as much as they do in that final game, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
One montage isn't doing it for me.
Yeah. Are you talking about his team or the other team?
His team.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the hill he has to climb at the very end,
Yeah,
where he's got to get his team
hog.
to like him. Yeah, he's a ball hog. He's a showboat. He's a fucking Harlem
He
Globetrotter.
steals the ball from his own teammate.
Yeah.
That was such a bold move.
Rude.
Yeah, very rude.
Very rude.
Just comes up behind him.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I get why that. I mean that's the biggest thing to show why this team hates him all of a sudden. That's not enough.
Yeah, that's true.
You can have comedy in there that I think serves the plot a little better.
What would you have done
Oh God. I
to
would
make
have
his
had.
team hate him more?
I would have had. I mean, I think the funniest character in the movie is the coach.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more that you could have done with the coach in the office with Scott. You could do stuff in the locker room. You could do stuff with like the what's it called? Like a press conference where it's like the student newspapers and shit.
That'd be
right?
funny.
Like there's this opportunity to really lean into making this a sports movie that's also like a weird supernatural werewolf comedy.
So you want like a Rudy, but with a werewolf, kind of.
Kinda.
Okay.
Or maybe not necessarily a Rudy, because I feel like that's a little too sappy. I feel like a Rudy with a werewolf is going to be more tragic than I want it to be.
Yeah. Get shot in the end.
Yeah.
Silver bullet.
Also, that movie's going to be called A Rudy.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. I feel like I want. Oh man, I want like a Mighty Ducks, but with
Okay.
a werewolf. Because Mighty Ducks, they have all the training shit.
Wasn't that one of the Air Buds, basically? I feel like there was an Air Bud hockey.
Kinda.
Hockey Bud or
There's
something? I don't know.
Air Bud. Okay, I'm gonna see how many Air Buds I can remember off the top of my head. There's
no.
Air Bud.
Right.
There's Air Bud World Pup.
Did he play football or soccer?
That's
in that?
Air Bud Golden Receiver is where he plays football.
I was saying football in the European sense.
World Pup is soccer.
Okay.
There's
God.
Air Bud 3. That's World Pup. Okay. Air Bud 7th inning fetch. I forgot about that one. Air Bud
God.
Spikes Back, and then Air Buddies.
So
and then we
what-
have the Buddies franchise.
Do you think they made these movies before they made the titles, or were the titles made first, right?
I feel like you got to go with the titles first and
Yeah.
just see how many you can think of that would fit. And then all of a sudden, because they ran out of it after 5 options, after
Back.
5 movies, and then they're like, "All right, we got to put talking dogs in here now, talking puppies."
I'm trying to think of like a ping pong one in my head and trying not to be racist at all. It's like that's what I'm doing right now. It's not happening.
Well,
so.
the racist thing would be if the dogs got eaten in that movie.
It's just 2 empty paddles and just
Boy, oh boy. Anyway, canceled. Ryan, how dare you bring that up on this podcast?
I wasn't even going that way. I was just trying to think of a name that.
And that's I can't think of any like would you? Oh, there's the one I did have. I used to do a bit about this where it's like Air Bud, but it's UFC.
Oh, that's funny.
And it's
Run by Michael Vick.
But he does Emma. It's Air Bud Mixed Martial Arts.
That's good. That's a good title.
Or Air Bud Ultimate Fido Championship.
Ooh, those are both good, actually.
They're both good.
Those are pretty good. Have you pitched this yet around town?
Not yet.
I think you should start.
I feel like I could do it. And there's never been a better time. MMA's hot right now.
So hot right now.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine Joe Rogan commenting on a movie, on a thing? There's no rule that says you can't let a dog into the ring.
Oh my God, he just bit him. He just bit him.
Oh, the rear naked choke.
Oh man, that'd be huge. That'd be huge.
That would be
Watch it.
huge.
Michael Vick would be an investor. I'm telling you, and trainer.
His image has been rehabbed enough to put him in this movie.
It's crazy.
We can make it happen. Teen Wolf. They did an MTV remake of this. Have you seen the MTV
Not watched
version
a
of the
single
show?
episode. Not watched one single episode.
I have no desire to watch the show. The movie's all I need.
Yeah, don't. I honestly feel like the show may be worse than the movie, even though it says 80 or whatever. That they tried to make it like Twilight, and that's not what Teen Wolf was.
Oh, yeah.
That's not what Teen Wolf was.
Teen Wolf's not about Twilight.
Yeah, Teen Wolf. Like these kids are probably all trying to have sex. Scott wasn't trying to have sex.
Scott is basically asexual.
He's the most aloof, like sexual 15 or 16-year-old, however old he was supposed to be.
Scott, the asexual werewolf.
Yeah.
Also a great movie. I would be fascinated to see this.
Scott the asexual
Scott
werewolf.
the asexual werewolf.
That'd be a great sequel they should have made, is when he graduates high school, graduates college, and then just gets a job in business, but just like turns into the wolf during meetings and stuff, like when he's trying to close deals.
Yeah, on sales calls.
That should have been the Wolf of Wall Street, actually. Let's redo that.
Teen Wolf of Wall Street.
Teen Wolf of Wall Street.
I would totally watch that.
By the way, great sketch idea.
Oh my
Teen
God.
Wolf of Wall Street.
If anybody's gonna do that,
I think it's me now.
now it's you. You got to do
You're
it.
in.
Count me in. Okay. How do you
The differences.
How do you fix this movie? Like, I know what I would do. I want to see them lean into the sports. What about you? What's your point of view?
For me, here's the thing about me. I'm so stuck on people's reactions or lack of reactions. I need more people acknowledging that a kid just turned into a wolf. And for that to be a big thing.
Sure.
Like, I need newspapers at the school and like from across the country being like, this is the first time this has ever happened. Or are we just acknowledging are werewolves just a part of life that we didn't know about in this movie? Like, I need some backstory on why no one's freaking out.
That's a good point.
About somebody turning into a wolf.
You know what they really, now that I think about it too, because it is so weirdly normalized.
It's crazy.
How do you, in this movie, not have a big twist in the final act, the final big basketball game, have one of the other players on the rival team also be a werewolf?
Yeah. Or his dad. Just comes out, he's like, I'm playing for the other team.
I'm coaching the other team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that would have been great. Or that guy Mick just turns into a wolf.
I was going to say, yeah, Mick should be a werewolf or a vampire or something.
Something.
You know? Let him be all.
Let's lean into this crazy world.
Lean into it. If we already assume there's werewolves, then why isn't your rival being a werewolf at the least opportune time?
Yeah, because it's.
And you guys have to have a werewolf battle.
That'd be cool. One-on-one basketball.
Yes.
Yeah. It was weird, the scene with his dad and the principal, where it's like they had a thing from high school.
That was also super weird.
Like, did the principal know that his dad was a werewolf? Because he made him piss his pants.
Yes.
Which was weird.
So the principal, as far as I could tell, did know that his dad was a werewolf.
He did?
And that's why they have a thing.
Okay. Why didn't he tell Scott? Like, hey, there's potential. Like, why isn't anybody telling this kid there's potential that you could be a wolf?
I don't know. Nobody's looking out for Scott in this movie.
Nobody.
Everybody just wants Scott to like be bad at basketball and fuck Boof, and nobody wants him to know that he's a werewolf.
His dad was like his number one wingman with Boof too.
Yeah.
His dad's like, "Are you gonna hit it yet, or what?" Like that's basically every conversation with his
like,
son.
Come on.
He's like, "Boof is over here a lot. Are you going to?"
Are you going to?
Yeah.
She is willing and ready.
Yeah.
You could have another werewolf if you wanted to with Boof.
Yeah, you can make your own.
Why not make it happen?
And never tell him about it because there's a potential it skips a generation. So.
I would love to see. I mean, I would even love to go back and see the dad. I would be down to see a prequel.
Yeah, of his dad.
Of Dad Wolf.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, there's so much of it that's like just so far fetched to me, and that's where my mind gets taken out of the movie. Where I'm just like, yeah, like you said, he turns into a werewolf, middle of the game, breaks a whole pile of guys around him, and just starts dribbling the ball. Yeah. Not even a timeout.
Nope.
Like nobody even calls a timeout. He just starts dribbling and just hits a layup, and then people are like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. At least call a foul on the guy. Like that's definitely got to be like a charge, right? If you're going to knock an entire team off of you while you're trying to get the ball.
Yeah. I mean, I've never heard anyone just like growling in the middle of a game like that.
No.
It's pretty wild circumstances that are honestly not acknowledged the way they should be.
And here's the thing. I agree with you on that. I think that there's so much fun to be had in this movie. And if we're looking at it, like I said, from a script perspective, I think the theme of like somebody, a teen of the teen wolf, right there in the name, the teen learns to be himself, right? That's the theme. We have the full circle. We have the fun, like, visual. Oh, he's a werewolf now. Great. Fun time. We don't have enough of this, like, believability that I feel like could lend itself to making this movie a classic instead of just one that people are like, oh my God, they made a movie called Teen Wolf?
Yeah.
And then they made a sequel, and then they made a TV show about it? What?
It's got a legacy now.
I know.
It's got a legacy.
And I don't know if it's a good legacy.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't read anybody write a think piece about
Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf.
They should. They should think about why they made this goddamn movie. Look at him. It's the same. It's got to be the same special effects guy that did Thriller, by the way, because he looks exactly. Can you pull up Michael Jackson transitioning
to
a werewolf?
By the way, the dad as the wolf. I might go as him for Halloween now. I think I could probably pull that off. With these glasses.
Honestly, I was looking up costumes for Teen Wolf. They're very expensive. Like, they come with the jersey, the thing, and all the hair.
Oh, sure they
do. Oh, no,
do.
you got to get him as he's transitioning into the wolf.
There we go.
I think it's a little bit before that even, where it's like more clay.
Oh, we got some claymation coming on.
That's what it looks like.
Come on, MJ.
Here we go.
Let's see it. There's
full moon action.
The full moon. Here. Uh-oh. Here he goes. His date freaking out.
This podcast just covers everything wolf.
Not as cool as Boof.
Oh, no, he just goes straight to it. Okay, I thought it was more transitioning.
What a bummer.
Yellow eyes.
Oh, God.
Much scarier wolf than Michael J. Fox, by the way.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox isn't that scary.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the trend. There's that hair that we're looking at. See, all of a sudden he's just there.
Yeah, his dad was great.
His dad's great.
This reminds me, like, you remember the National Enquirer? Those like like Wolf Boy,
Weekly World News.
Yeah, they used to have like that Wolf Boy that had like all that. That's who the dad kind of. Actually, that's who he looks like too.
A little bit.
Yeah, something different.
The 40-year-old.
By the way, did you just read the mouth? There's something different about you. Yeah, I'm a wolf.
I'm a fucking wolf.
I'm not sure if you saw that. Yeah. Starts breakdancing with the only black guy in the entire school.
Yeah.
That was very lacking. Was of diversity.
The one black guy in Indiana.
That could be true.
In this entire movie.
Yeah.
What should people watch instead? Because I haven't, and I will say this: I haven't seen a lot of stuff from the '80s comedy wise.
Okay.
I'm sure that there are some better ones that are actually like funnier all the way through and make sense a little bit more all the way through. What should I watch?
Have you ever seen Three Amigos?
I've never seen Three Amigos.
You've never seen Three Amigos?
That Chevy Chase and
Steve Martin and Martin Short. Such a good movie.
I gotta watch that.
You've never seen that yet?
Never
That's a
seen
great
it.
movie. It was also written by Lorne Michaels with them and Steve Martin.
Okay, nice. Yeah. What's it? It's them.
They are.
They
are
like
three Western
guys.
Western actors.
Mariachi folk.
Yeah, they're three stereotypical, banditos, right?
Of course.
And they get fired from their not network. What's it called? Whatever the studio that they belong to, because back then everyone had studio contracts.
Oh, it's a studio system, yeah.
So they get fired because they want more money, and then their videos have been playing, or their movies have been playing as silent films in Mexico.
Oh, okay.
And a town down there actually thinks that they're actual heroes and not just movie stars. So they call them in to fight off a notorious villain.
See, that sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, it's a great romp. Chevy Chase is great. Steve Martin's great. Martin Short's great.
I gotta check this out.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a romp?
Who doesn't love a romp?
I wouldn't say Teen Wolf is a romp.
No, Teen Wolf is not a romp. Teen Wolf is not a romp at all.
Teen Wolf left a lot on the table.
Yeah, there's a lot of places they could have gone with the script, as we both said.
It's a real bummer.
I don't know why turning into a wolf made him better at class either. That's never been solved to me.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Turning into a wolf shouldn't make him better at anything.
No, especially basketball.
No.
I've never seen a wolf play basketball.
But I have seen a dog play basketball.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where they got the
5
idea
times.
from Airbud for it. Was from Teen Wolf, and they're like, everybody talks about wolves playing basketball, but nobody talks about dogs playing basketball.
Yeah, I mean, they're just domesticated wolves. So
yeah, pretty much. 1997, it's a full 12 years later.
There is breakdancing, by the way, with the one.
Ah, the breakdancing scene. Yeah, why does a wolf know how to breakdance?
Why does he know how to do anything? Why'd he get better at stuff as a wolf? God, he looks good in a suit, though.
He does look good in a suit. Look at this. Look at these moves.
Yeah, why'd he learn to dance?
Teen Wolf.
I'm getting that shirt, though, by the way.
I love that shirt. I love that. I love so much about this movie in a way that I did not expect to, and in a rare instance, I am glad that my guest has made me watch a movie. So thank you for making me watch Teen Wolf.
There you go.
I finally checked it off my list that I didn't even know I had.
Watch Three Amigos next.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll let you know what I think.
Report back to me
I
on
feel
it,
like
please.
It's probably a much better movie.
It is.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Where can people find you on the internet, by the way, if they want to also share their Teen Wolf hatred or love?
Instagram, the Ryan Nesen. That's pretty much. I don't do Twitter much anymore.
Great.
It's just terrible place.
Don't worry about Twitter.
Yeah,
Who
I
needs
don't.
it? But if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do it at DietJ. Transitions. Also follow at Blockbusting Pod for all of the updates about the show. And if you like the show, tell a friend. Consider subscribing to the Patreon. You get bonus content for just $1 a month. And that's really all there is to say. So thanks again, Ryan.
Of course. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Of course. This has been Blockbusting. Go see something good for a change.